During the 13th century, Japan flourished under the Kamakura shogunate, enjoying a long period of prosperity and largely peaceful relations with its neighbors. But during the second half of the century, Japan came under increasing pressure from the Mongols. Across the sea in China, the Mongols had come to power in the early 13th century as the Yuan dynasty, with the great Kublai Khan ruling China during 1260 to 1294. Kublai Khan's ambitions included not only the Eurasian landmass, but also the Japanese archipelago. At first, he tried diplomacy, sending 5 diplomatic missions to the Japanese court during the period 1268-1273. But the Japanese either ignored or mistreated these Chinese emissaries. There are reports that the Japanese killed some of the Chinese emissaries, and Kublai Khan resolved to use force. In 1274, he sent 25,000 soldiers to Korea and pressured the vassal Korean emperor to raise an army of 15,000 men and supply 900 ships to transport the men, their horses, and their equipment to Kyushu. The Mongols first took the islands of Tsushima and Iki, between Korea and Japan, as staging areas, and then landed their army at Hakata Bay, Ajkozaki, in the northwestern part of the island of Kyushu. The Japanese hastily mobilized all available forces, but their generals had no experience in managing large bodies of troops, and the Mongols were both better armed and more effectively led. The Mongols were defeating the Japanese when a severe storm led the Mongol ship captains to call for the men to be re-embarked or risk being marooned on Japanese soil. Although the majority of Mongol ships made it back to Korea, reportedly some 200 were lost at sea, and others were taken by the Japanese. The invaders suffered some 13,000 men killed in the invasion attempt. Kublai Khan then assembled a far larger expeditionary force in 2 separate contingents. The Northern Fleet, which numbered as many as 70,000 Mongol and Korean soldiers in perhaps 1,000 ships, sailed from ports in northern China. The Southern Fleet was even larger. It numbered 100,000 men to be transported in perhaps 3,500 ships. It was not yet ready when the Northern Fleet departed on May 22, 1281. In early June, the Mongols again took Tsushima and Iki as staging areas. The expeditionary force then sailed to northern Kyushu, arriving in Hakata Bay on June 21st. The Southern Fleet had not yet arrived, but the Northern Fleet troops began to go ashore on June 23rd. This time the Japanese were better prepared. At sea, they carried out nighttime harassing attacks against the Mongol ships and destroyed some of them. While unable to defeat the Mongols on land, the Japanese were at least able to check their advance inland. The Southern Fleet began arriving in mid-July, and its deployment was complete by August 12th. The Japanese appeared lost before such a large force, but on the night of August 14-15, a violent storm, the Kamikaze, or divine wind, blew in from the north and wrecked most of the Mongol ships in the bay. The Japanese, believing that the storm was a divine intervention in their behalf, quickly got to work destroying the remaining Mongol vessels. Those Mongols who survived the storm were either captured or killed by the Japanese soldiers waiting for them on the beaches. Cut off from their supplies, those Mongols already ashore were easily defeated. Some 120,000 Mongols and Koreans may have perished in the invasion attempt. The Japanese reportedly made slaves of some 12,000 others. The indefatigable Kublai Khan made plans for yet another invasion of Japan, but unrest in China diverted his attention. He never launched the third invasion. The following Ming dynasty, 1368-1644, sought conciliation and trade with Japan. Thus, the Japanese retained their independence and continued to develop their own institutions free from Chinese control. In the 19th and 20th centuries, a modernized Japan sought to reverse the situation and secure control of China.